Hey guys, how's everything doing so far? I'm Marlon Steve Maradiaga Rodriguez, and I am part of a group of students from the UPN FM, which is located in Nacaome Valle. I don't want to forget this, but I would like to add that we are part of the English career. And today it is a great day. Today it is an amazing day because my classmates and I will be explaining everything about the direct method. Well, the direct method of teaching, which is sometimes called or sometimes known as the natural method, and is often but not exclusively used in teaching foreign languages, has nothing to do with using the learner's native languages and uses only the target language that is being learned. This method intends students to learn how to communicate with each other in the target languages. In other words, during this method, students must learn how to communicate with their partners by using the language that is being learned. The direct method of teaching languages aims to build a direct way into the world of the target languages by making a relationship between experiences and languages. Another important thing about this method is the role of the teacher. Well, in this method, the role of the teacher is to direct the class activities, encourage students to participate during classes by asking them questions constantly, all the time. Teachers must ask questions to the students anytime, all the time, in other words, always. And if it is necessary, teachers must correct the students if they have any mistakes. They have to do it immediately.
Hello, my name is Aurora Ordóñez, and I continue to explain what is the role of the student in this method. The role of the student in this method is very important because it's less passive than in the grammar translation method. Teachers and the students are more like partners in this teaching learning process. For example, teachers help to the student and the student help to the teachers. The work is mutual. Other important point of this method are the characteristics. The first characteristic of this method is that the student learns indirectly in this method. For example, the teachers write some examples and the student identifies what is the grammar rule that this example is. Other important characteristic is that the student practice much more speak in target language. Other characteristic is that this method is based in some situation. For example, the use of language that could use in the bank or shopping, or topics such as geographic, money, or weather. Other important characteristic is that teachers use some techniques for teaching. For example, use pictures, use relia, and pantomime.
I am Ruth Marie Velasquez, and I am going to talk a little bit more about the techniques that are used and the way in which errors correction is done in the direct or natural method. So, talking about the way in which errors correction is used, teachers correct a grammar error by asking students to make a choice and use self-correction because it facilitates language learning in students, and at the same time teachers employing various techniques tries to get the students to self-correct whenever possible. Likewise, there are some techniques that teachers apply or use in the direct or natural method. Those techniques are reading aloud. It is when students take turns and read a section of a passage. And another is getting students to self-correct. For example, a teacher might simply repeat what the student has already said and using a questioning voice in order to signal the error that the student has made. Another one is conversation practice. It is when the teacher asks the students a number of questions, and in that question is applied a particular grammar structure in order to make the students speak. And the last one is paragraph writing. So in these techniques, the teacher asks the students to write a paragraph in their own word in order to show or apply what they have learned.
Hello, I am Samuel Lopez and it's my pleasure to greet you. Now, I'm going to talk about advantages and disadvantages of direct method. Well, if we apply this method, some advantages will be: number one, direct method focuses on oral practice, therefore students improve their pronunciation. Number two, in teaching vocabulary such as words and idioms, this method is good because there is a relationship between word and its meaning. Number three, teachers come from particular to general, from concrete to abstract. Finally, this method make an easier learning process because teachers are free to use image, videos, and materials in order to explain his or her point. That's why students learn easily. On the other hand, there are some disadvantages of this method. Number one, direct method is not suggested to apply it in large classes because a student may feel bored. Number two, due to this method focuses on other practice skills such as reading and writing are ignored, and that is not good, right? Number three, this method is really expensive, so our schools are not able to provide enough equipment that are essential in this method. Finally, there is a difficulty in explanation. Well, despite of disadvantages, this method is good, but the teacher needs to look benefit for the whole class. Let me tell you an anecdote related to this method. One day I was at the university and the teacher was explaining something about preposition. But I didn't know the meaning of that word and I didn't know how to use a preposition. So I asked to the teacher for the meaning of that word. The teacher took a marker and started drafting something on the whiteboard. When he finished drafting, he asked, "What can you see there?" And we said, "There is a marker, there is a desk, there is a pencil, and there is a computer." He asked, "What is the marker?" And we said, "The marker is under the desk." He asked, "What is the computer?" And we said, "The computer is on the desk." He asked, "What is the pencil?" And we said, "The pencil is behind the desk." At the end, he said, "You see, you are using preposition. You know exactly the meaning of that word. Preposition are some words that we can use in order to say where something is located." That's all for this video. See you next time.